I've had the Note 9 since launch day and I've loved owning the device. It's the one device that Samsung really legitimately gets to show off its niche side of its innovation. I mean, seriously, think about it. What if Samsung never made phones but made everything else like headphones, TVs, washers, and whatever else? And then Samsung says in 2018, hey, we're going to make Android flagships. Everyone would be ecstatic to see what they have to offer, but because they do already make so many phones, I think people really take for granted how awesome they are. So let's dive into the Note 9 after 11 months plus of ownership. The device hasn't had any major drops and it has held up quite well because of that. The body is still free of scratches and I use cases regularly, and the phone until recently has had a screen protector applied to it. But I just take the normal precautionary steps, nothing excessive, just a TPU case and a glass screen protector. Samsung's choice to have chamfered edges and thicker sides makes the device extremely easy to manage, especially when compared to something like the OnePlus 7 Pro. See, the OnePlus 7 Pro is considerably harder to manage because the edges are smoother and the glossy finish to the back makes it very slippery. See, I've learned a couple of things from owning Samsung devices that they do a lot to avoid negative criticism, which means that if they do go bezel-less with a huger device, well, then they'll make provisions to the design to make sure that it's more manageable. At least historically, they've done that. Also, something to consider is that typing on the device for a longer period of time really requires two hands to really be efficient. The device is just too wide for me to type longer documents with one hand really efficiently. I'm currently typing this review script right now on the Note 9 and I'm using two hands because typing it with one hand is just less efficient. It may not reduce mistakes with two hands, but it just takes longer in my experience. Now, the front of the device is a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display and there's no notch, and it does have thicker than 2019 average flagship bezels, at least for Samsung's standards. And I'm happy to say that it hasn't been picking up a lot of micro scratches or any at all as the Note 9 used to. Now, the top bezel and the bottom bezel help achieve a more symmetrical look, but it has another benefit. It helps me hold the device when I'm watching videos in landscape. See, when I hold a device like the S10 in landscape, sometimes I accidentally block the more prominent bottom firing speaker. So there's no in-screen fingerprint scanner. We'll just have to make do with the one in the back. And the one in the back isn't in the perfect place, but it's fast and it's accurate. I expect the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner to be better than the S10's when the Note 10 comes out, but I don't know if it'll be as fast or accurate as the one on the back of the Note 9. But they do have other forms of biometric security like face unlock and iris scanning, so that's pretty dope. So the S Pen, I want to get this out the way, especially since I've owned every Note since the Note 4, except for the Fan Edition, which was basically the same thing as the Note 7 with a smaller battery. Every year, I use the S Pen less and less. And at the exact same period of time, every year, Samsung has made the S Pen better and better by expanding its functionalities and its capabilities. So the fact that I keep using it less and less is kind of odd, but there are some circumstances that may affect this. Number one, Android and technology are just gotten so much better that if I do have to sign a document, I find that signing it with my finger and drawing my signature instead of pulling out the S Pen, I think it's just more organic on an electronic device. Or changing a track on headphones that's actually pushing out the sound just feels a little bit more natural than clicking a pen. Now, where I do find it to be useful will probably be if like I'm using a loudspeaker, but I don't find myself doing that a lot. But that leads me to reason number two, that my life just requires an S Pen functionality less and less. See, I'm not signing a lot of contracts, especially on my phone, nor do I find myself itching to note say something with a pen-like device instead of just typing it out, especially with how quick and easy swipe gesture typing has become. Now, by no means am I calling the S Pen useless. Its capabilities are very well valid and functional. I just either find myself rarely needing those functions, or when I do need those functions that it does provide, there's often another more immediate way to do the exact same function without pulling out the S Pen. And therefore, honest to God, beyond the review period, I have not used the S Pen, not once. But that's just me because the S Pen is literally an extension of your finger. It literally can do everything that your finger can do, including even being a trigger for your camera shutter button. The rest of the software is Samsung's One UI over Android Pie, which I feel was tailor-made for the S10 series, but is really effective on the Note 9 due to the size of the phone. One UI brings Samsung's native apps functions and settings to a more manageable place by pushing the settings options down further toward the bottom of the UI, and also by placing function buttons for apps like the dialer at the bottom. This is a practical improvement and it helps the overall experience, but what about performance? Well, after I've owned the S10 Plus, which is notably faster than the Note 9 because of the upgraded processor, the 855, versus what's on the Note 9, the 845, the Note 9 still feels quick enough for 2019 flagship standards. Now, a buddy of mine at my job, he told me that his Note 9 feels a bit sluggish, but mine is definitely still kicking strong, no lag and no stutters. Now the phone's battery also lasts all day, almost as good as day one, so battery degradation is not really an issue for me on this device. It's actually holding up really well. So now to the cameras. On the back there's a wide angle and then also a 2x telephoto lens. The camera is still top 10 in my opinion. I mean, literally, take a look at this photo. Now take a look at the same exact photo, zoomed in tremendously. Look at the details of this dead spider in my headlight. This is literally amazing. Okay, moving on. Now the skin tones are super accurate on the rear camera, although on the front facing camera, which is a wide angle, I do feel like it's a bit overexposed in my opinion. Still, the photos look awesome for sharing on social media and with family and friends. So obviously I love the phone, but here's some things that I'm less than ecstatic about. Number one, slow fast charging. It's still quicker than 2013 standard, but it's 2019 and other companies are introducing way faster charge delivery systems. And number two, see, that's all I really want from the device. Like, I'm not in a rush for invisible bezels that will make the phone a little bit harder to handle, even if it's in the slightest. See, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I want everything that Samsung has to offer. I want the faster UI, the extra camera tricks, and the better camera processing that will take place in the upcoming device. All those things are the things that makes the Note 9, in my opinion, the best device that money can buy. But with the rumored changes going to happen with the smaller bezels and also getting rid of the headphone jack, I'm not sure that that's a compromise that I'm willing to make, especially since the Note 9 is already such a great device. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is the Note 10 going to be worth the upgrade over the Note 9, especially since it's going to be a radically different device? Either way, guys, it's been Everton and I do videos Everton's way. Peace.